Good morning, good morning. I'm a couple of minutes late, as the fella says, but it's great to be with you this morning to start a new week. So, this is your check in with Kevin, and I've just been running. Morning, Jordan. Top of the morning to you. We're just getting cracking. So, for your check in with Kevin on Monday morning, my heart is definitely first of all say hello while I catch my breath. I have a confession. In your Irish brother's head, time seems to what does it seem to do? Time seems to be longer in my head than it is in reality. You know what that's like? Anyway, that's what it's like for me. And so sometimes I think, yeah, granted, we'll get that done, no problem. And there is a law that says time expands. No, the task expands to the time allotted. Do you ever find if you give yourself a shorter amount of time and like that's all you have, and you can, you got to get it done in that time, and that's crazy, amazing things happen that you are able to pull it off somehow. So that's my confession to you this morning. Okay, will you do me a favor? I'm going to say how yeah, and let me know where you're watching from, if you will. That would be great. Second thing is that I am torn in my head this morning on a couple of things that I want to share with you. First of all, just by way of recap, tell me how your weekend was, if you'd be so kind. Tell me tell me what's going on with you and what went on with you. It was graduation weekend this past weekend, and good morning, Janine. And so Zach, our youngest, graduated, and without any, pomp and circumstance, right? And so we just said, all right, kid, we'll take you out to dinner, like, depending on what's open. Let us know where you want to go. And man, this child chose just this simple little restaurant, and I was just reminded, hey, it's the simple little things that make a massive difference. And can I just share with you that in my travels and 25 years working and ministering and serving people, it's the little things that have compounded over a long period of time that make the big difference. A lot of times we think it's the grandiose gesture, it's the I have to do something massive. And man, good morning, Becca. The reality is it's the little things, morning, Karamo, how are you? Good to see you. And it's the little things. So I've been sharing sometimes the songs that we've learned kind of growing up, little by little, right? Yard by yard, little by little, inch by inch, little by little, inch by inch, by the yard it's hard, by the inch what a cinch. Never stare up the stairs, just step up the steps, little by little, inch by inch. And that's growth, right? Well, it's not just growth physiologically. It's not just growth when it comes to plant life. It's growth, and it's maturity when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love. And so, good morning, Melissa. So I just want to encourage you with that thought as we kind of get kicked off with celebration weekend for Zach, and hallelujah, we got our fourth through And good morning to you, Lar. Got our last one through high school, and he's prepping to head off to college now, and so that's a wonderful thing for a parent, right? Without any holy water, we got him through, uh, and so proud of him, grateful for him, and he was in. Tell you a funny story. He was in. So we homeschooled, for a good bit. I think it was fourth grade. So for you Europeans or us Europeans or those on my island, fourth grade is I think it's like might be second or third class. Okay, and um, and uh, so didn't Zach think that the class superlatives? Good morning, Pete. Happy Monday to you, man. Uh, so our youngest was answering this question about what he would what he would have liked to have been as the class superlative. So at the end of the year they have awards, and everybody's most likely to become a doctor, most likely to become a you know dropout and leech on society, or whatever. Okay, I mean, I don't think they go there, but anyway. So didn't Zach in fourth grade, right? Actually, it might have been before then, but anyway, he said, "I want to be the class clown. I want to be the class clown," and he didn't know, and his dad didn't know either. That doesn't happen every year in American schools, right? It only happens at the very end, in high school. Well, what do you think that Zack Attack was voted in his senior year by his classmates? Class clown. So he's achieved his life goal, and now on to bigger and better things. All right. So I'm just checking in with you. I'd love to know, how I could pour into you today. I'm going to talk to you kind of down a path, down a channel. But if you've got a question in your love life, in your leadership, or in your life in general that you'd love me to just pour into, coach you around, would absolutely be delighted to do that. So while we're on our way there and seeing if any of you are brave enough to throw something on, good morning, Marianne. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. While we're on our way there, I'm going to just pop over here where I have me notes, and then we will plow in. So any questions, any comments, any thoughts from the peanut gallery, from the choir, as it says, if you're all up at this hour, then you are good to go. So here we go. Here's where I want to be. One of the thoughts that I want to share with you this morning is that in order, right? So Hebrews, not Hebrews, Romans 12 tells us, hey, don't be conformed to the mold of how everybody else thinks, okay? But be transformed by a renewing process. And in that renewing process, the first part of our body that is focused in on is our noggins. So when you think about renewing your mind, how do you do that? How do you do that? Let me know. I mean, how do you renew your mind? How do you stop yourself from fitting into the mold of how everybody else thinks? How do you do that? Not a trick question. I want to know how you do it. I have a few ways, and I'm going to throw out some ideas for you this morning, and specifically around one of the tools that we have to help people renew their noggins. How do you do that? How do you renew your mind? How do you make sure that you don't fall into the status quo? What do you do? Love that. Music, meditation. Yeah, sign me up. Nothing like a good song to just minister to your soul. Nothing like telling your head where to go, what to focus on. That can help you kind of get going down a better path. How do you renew your mind? Pete, I hear you, man. In the UK, a lot of people going back to work, and probably a lot of difficult decisions are going to be made around staff and structure. Yeah. So how here's that's a lot of our reality, right? And I'm your Irish brother, right? So for you, Pete, I'm your cousin. But uh, how do we not get sucked into worry like so many others get sucked into worry or anxiety or overwhelm? How do we transform our mind to where it isn't dominating the details of our lives? If I'm living life like it's just me, there is no one else, and I am the determiner of my own destiny, then I better feel the weight of all of it, because no one else is going to carry it for me if it's just me. As the oldest of six, can I tell you, when I was a young lad, I found out I actually had an older brother. His name is Jesus, not Jesus, although that's how you say Jesus in Spanish, I guess. But like, and when I found out I had an older brother who actually had my back, it kind of helps you take a deep breath. And gives you a sense of confidence, bravado even. And this sense that, hey, no matter what, he's promised never to leave me. And he's the perfect older brother, right? I was a big brother, oldest brother. But he's promised never to leave me or forsake me. So I just want to give you the perspective that as we head back, as things get back to whatever the new normal is going to look like in this post-pandemic world, that you're not alone, that you don't have to live like you're alone. Part of the reason why we're doing these check-ins is because we want to say to you, hey, you're not alone. Me and my phenomenal team want to be a support to you to the best degree possible. And so that's one thought. Second thought is community is massive, right? Like fellowship is this word where if you break it down, it's like two fellows in the same ship heading in the same direction, right? How do you experience community connection instead of isolation, disconnection? That's part of what we're doing right here. To stop us from going to the lowest common denominator, we've like, so Larry says the word, I find ways to get the word into me. So yesterday we're sitting in the living room and we're watching, church, and we're walking through a passage and bopping around a few different passages, reminding us of what the truth is. That and for us yesterday, our truth was hey, life is hard. Life is hard, but God is good. Not exactly really deep, but sometimes it's not the deep stuff that just we need to remind ourselves. In this world, he tells us, you're going to have trouble. take heart because I've overcome it all. Okay, I'll have some of that. Don't be surprised when you fall into diverse challenges. And there's one brilliant passage. I'll have to post it later. I think it's in Ephesians 5, maybe. Really, really, really solid. Maybe it was Romans 5 actually. Talks about like when character is when you fall into diverse trials, character is developed, and after character, hope, and hope doesn't make you ashamed. I can't find it right now, but I'm going to go there in a little bit. Here's what I want to give to you this morning. Here's what I want to give to you. We're talking about how do you for our check-in. We're talking about how do you not drop to the lowest common denominator. How do you make sure you don't just accept the status quo? How do you live a supernatural life? An extraordinary life. Not just the same as the masses. It is Romans 5, Sarah. Thank you. Hey, if you've got space, time, while you're getting ready, you can type in that verse. Some people are saying music, meditation, the scriptures, friendships. How do you not drift to the lowest common denominator? I'm going to gift to you this morning something that we call our daily mind renewal tool. Now, it's not daily as in your Irish brother daily. There is an I in this one, so it's every day, right? It's the little steps, it's the little decisions every day. So let me share with you. This screen. I think I can. Yes, I can. Let me share with you this screen, and I think it should give me an application, so it should. Boom. That's what I want to show you. Okay, let me ask you, can you see this? You should be seeing it now. Make it a little bit bigger. Let me come over here and make it full screen. All right, are you able to read that? Let me know. Can you read that? Can you read it? Can you see it? Yes? Cool. Larry, bro, if you can read it, we're in good shape, man. Yay. Okay. So here's the first thing, right? Can I give you the first thing? And man, I wish I could just block the rest of these for you, but in the morning, first antidote to following the masses is gratitude. Gratitude. We talked a little bit about this last week, but just having an attitude of gratitude, right? Finding things that you can be grateful for. You can't control the variables, all of them. You can only control you. So my encouragement is bring the best you back to work. Bring the best version of you back to work to the degree that you know what that looks like right now and what you can bring right now. Because that's something we can control, right? We can't control what the boss decides. We can't control what the board decides. We can't control what happens in the economy at large. When we becoming more intentional about what we do have, right? Last week I asked you a few questions. Hey, do you tend to focus on what you have or what you have not? What you can control or what you can't control? And so it's kind of like, and this is another way of coming at it, right? It's all different way. Gratitude. How is gratitude in your life? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the most grateful you could possibly be. What number are you? I want you to write that down. Share that with me. What number are you? Gratitude. How grateful are you, would you say? 0 to 10, 10's most grateful you could possibly be. What would that look like for you? In all things, give thanks, is what the wisdom of the ancient writings of Scripture would say. In all things, not for all things give thanks, because you know that doesn't make sense. In all things, give thanks. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to run everywhere, right? I wouldn't walk. I'd run because, I thought that the goal was get to the destination, right? Um, Sometimes I'd be running down my house driveway, which wasn't very long, just in case, just to give you the picture, right? Well, anyway, I'm running down my house driveway and I'm turning left to kind of run down the path, to head to school. And I do not want to confess to you how many times I did this, but as I'm running down and I'm turning left, and my left leg went underneath my right leg only to trip me up and just face plant right on the concrete, right? I can't tell you how many times that I got up, felt no blood, and I'm like, dear God, thank you. There's no blood. Oh, there's no blood. That could have been so much worse. Gratitude. I wasn't thankful for smacking my head and doing a face plant. But gratitude is that simple. It's not faking it, but it is looking to see where we can be grateful for. So we've got some 5 or 6 out of 10s. We've got some high up there. Yeah, like I would say to you, like this chart, this daily mind renewal tool it's huge. I would just say, just start at the beginning. Just start at the beginning. Just start with gratitude and exercise. Can I just, for those of you who are exercise adverse, can I say to you, movement, right? Motion changes emotion, okay? And the last thing you want to do is start moving most of the time, in the mornings or in the evenings, or, whenever you've got a pocket to actually move. When you move, you actually will find that you feel better because dopamine is released in your head, and it motion changes emotion. All right. And here's the other thing I would say to you: just don't overdo it. Just do a little, and even give yourself. I've got a friend. He says, when I tell myself, I'm just getting on the treadmill like for 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes on it. Actually, for him, it was the elliptical. I'm just getting on the elliptical for 5, because he's trying to save his knees. I'm just trying to get on the elliptical 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, if I want to get off, I can get off. Now, for you, it might be 3 minutes. It might be 2 minutes. And he says, I find that in 5 minutes, I enjoy it. He enjoys it. I know. But he says, I feel better. I feel good that I'm actually doing this. And I'll just testify that when I, pre-COVID, was up in the mornings just doing my thing, no one can take that away from you. No, it's the time of the day where you can get it done, and you just feel better about the rest of your day just because your head's in a better headspace, et cetera, et cetera. Right? So exercise is just about movement. All right. So that's my encouragement to you on that one. Third one is meditate for a few minutes. All right. And again, I'm not saying start with all of this. Just take the first part. Right. Meditate for a few minutes. Somebody already said meditation a little earlier. Sarah, I think. Rebecca said music and meditation, right? So meditation. Well, so Daly, what are you doing? You saying like assume the lotus position? Well, you can if you want. It works for some people. Meditation is when you set your mind on a certain thought, a certain truth. Some people call them mantras. Some people call them scripture. Some people call them affirmations. Some people call them a lot of different things. But the point is that you are focusing on your breathing, because frankly, in anxiety and panic, first thing to go, gang, you know what the first thing to go is? Your breathing. So when I wear my watch, every hour I have a reminder. Hey, you breathing daily. You breathing. Take a breather, will you? And just the question forces me to say, when's the last time I took a deep breath? So I just need to make sure that I'm up to date with what you're writing in there. Oh, yes, Sarah. Good. Not only that, but we rejoice in our suffering. Now, that is not natural, okay, gang? That's not natural. Knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope. Hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that's been given to us. Love that. Love that. Love that verse. Romans 5, 3 through 5. And so just this idea that there is a bigger work, a deeper work going on inside of me that my maker is bringing about as I allow him, right? As I surrender to him, because you've got a freedom not to surrender or to surrender to him. And surrender is generally a negative word, but in context of relationship with Father, it's positive, right? So gratitude. How do you make sure you don't go to the lowest common denominator? How do you make sure that you are living an extraordinary life? That you are transforming your mind. Yeah, we got to find ways to get the scripture into us, and it's not just on Sundays. When we're virtually or physically gathering for church. Number one, gratitude, right? Gratitude is one way to help renew our minds. Second way, exercise, some sort of movement. Third way, meditate for a few minutes. Meditate for a few minutes. Hey, do me a favor. And if you write, okay, how do we, here we go. If you write the word tool in the chat area, I will send you this tool. So just write the word tool in the chat area if you'd be interested in receiving this tool, and I would be delighted to send it to you. Okay. So do that, and then let me finish these, and then I will let you get on with your fantastic week. Let's hope, right? Let's hope. So now I gotta find myself. I gotta find my way back there. But what I'm going to do is I'm thinking. Okay, so here's what we're saying, right? Part of renewing your mind is, hey, good morning, Donna. Great to see you. And yes, in Insta, if you just write the word tool in there, we'll get that to you as well. Okay. So to renew your mind daily, how does that look like, right? So first we said gratitude. Okay, gratitude. Number two, we said exercise, right? Exercise or movement. Okay, don't get tripped up on exercise, all right? I haven't had a runner's high in I can't tell you when, other than when we finished the race, okay? So the next one is meditate. Meditate, okay? For a few minutes, just a few minutes. Don't worry, set a timer, just 30 seconds even. Okay, all it is telling your brain where you want it to go. A lot of times people say, I don't have control over it. I'll tell you what you don't have control over. You don't have control over the thoughts that land on your noggin. But you do have control over what you do with the thoughts that land in your noggin or the thoughts that surface. So I want to encourage you, take back control that you've maybe conceded or thought that you didn't. Again, it's but belief drives behavior. If the filter that you carry believes that you don't have control, then you are going to behave in such a way that you don't have control. But if you believe you do have control, if you begin to take back control, you will find that your resilience muscle increases. You will realize, you will experience that that you can tell your mind where to go in the best way possible. Okay. Now look, number 4 is this brain retraining. Okay. Now, and I'm saying audio. Okay. Here's how. Here's what we found out. All right. Your mind responds best to your voice, not your spouses, not your kids, not your loved ones, your voice. So, if your subconscious responds better to your voice, then it stands to reason that if you record your voice speaking, singing truth that you're having a difficult time receiving, believing right now, that your subconscious will be able to receive it way better. And just a tip, the best time, before you go to bed. Right before you go to bed, you've made all the decisions you can for the day, if you like. Right before you go to bed is a great time to listen to an audio. And that's just one of the processes that we help folks do here, is just replace the limiting beliefs with liberating truths, right? But if you know what perspectives or beliefs are holding you back and you want to replace them, okay, then my encouragement to you is that you grab hold of whatever truth, affirmation, perspective that you want to live your life based upon. You record that and you press play. And any phone, Droid, iPhone, what has voice recording software or apps that you can download if it already isn't on your phone. And you want to get serious about retraining your mind? This is how you do it. All right. So I'm not going to shortcut you, but I want to say to you, do not allow yourself to become overwhelmed. This is your morning ritual. Okay. The next one is, have you ever heard of a vision board? I'm sure you have. All right. And you're like, Kev, seriously, you're going to have me go cut out pictures, Kev. Come on. You don't have to cut out pictures if you don't want to cut out pictures. I'll tell you, I was in a leadership development group one time, and we were all given an exercise to do. Okay, look, I tell you what, go home and on this white plate, get a lollipop stick. Put the lollipop stick on the bottom. Put the plate on the top, right? So like it's so you can the front and back. And so they said, all right, cut out picture or pictures of what you believe you look like to the other people in your life. What you believe you look like to the other people in your life. And then on the backside, write what you believe you look like to yourself. What you believe you look like to yourself. Okay? So I'm looking through some magazines, and I'm looking for what I think I look like to other people, and I'm thinking, I look all sorts of things to different people, and I say I look like I laugh with them, I cry with them, I listen to them. Sometimes I cut them off. So all sorts. I'm thinking like this is like. So I cut all different types of pictures out and I put them on. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this. And then I even had a verse. I said, I am all things to all people, that by some means I might win some, or something like that. That's good. Okay, so flip over the other side. Actually, no, flip over the other side. And so I'm flipping through. What do I look like to myself? What do I look like to myself? Well, look in the mirror. They said you can't put a picture of yourself on this, So what do I look like to myself? I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm flipping through, and I found this funny one. So I take off the funny one. And but if I don't find anything that kind of resonates, then I'll just use this funny one. And do you think I could find a picture of what I thought I looked like to myself? I couldn't. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to ace one side and I'm going to just be funny on the other. So I cut this picture out and I put it. So I go in next week into the class. They say, all right, Daly, you're up. Show us yours. And um, and so I say, well, really just depends on the person, depends on, what's going on in their life, as to what they see of me. And so sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm empathetic, sometimes I'm compassionate, sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I'm all sorts, right? Mm. And then like nodding, like seriously, I'm like, hey, this isn't that serious, lads. Just, relax a little. I want to say it, don't say that. They're all like thinking like deeply, I say, what? What? They say, who gets to decide? Who gets to decide who you are to them? I said, well, I do. I get to decide who I am to them. I said, okay. They said, so if if somebody's sad, you decide whether you're going to be sad with them or encouraging to them or what. Yeah, I do. Okay. If somebody's jovial, and they start to go through this list of different kind of settings or postures of people. And what they basically suggested was that I was allowing other people to control me. And then they said, that sounds exhausting. Okay, now first of all, I thought this was a fun experiment and a project, except for not being able to find myself in the process of it, and so all of a sudden, then I didn't like this game anymore. Like I don't want to play it, but I was in it. I was stuck, and so they said, you must be exhausted. Well, they didn't know this, but I was in that leadership development group because I was burnt out. And they said, all right. He said, how about you turn over the backside? And I'm like, no, I'm not showing you the backside. No. I don't like what you said on the front side. I don't think I want to show you the back. Come on. Before you, come on. So I turn over the backside. Well, on the backside, do you ever see a picture of a baby just sitting in a diaper? Like just sitting up in a diaper. Well, the difference between those pictures of a baby kind of sitting in a diaper was that this one had a man's head on the baby's kind of shoulders. Man's head, replaced on the baby, and he was balding and had some hair on the side here. But and they said exactly, and I'm like, no, don't say exactly. Like I didn't even want to know what their insight was. They said, no, exactly. Like, what do you mean exactly? They said, you are old before your time. You are old before your time. You are older beyond your years. I share that with you because we took a detour when we talked about vision board. Without a vision, people perish. Without knowing what you want, who you want to be, where you're heading, vision boards can be really, really helpful. They may not be your cup of tea or coffee. They may not be easy for us to do, especially when we don't do that type of stuff, ordinarily. But I want to tell you, where your mind goes, your energy flows. Where you set your affection, your intention, also it's easier to kind of get in line with that. So gratitude, how do you transform the renewing your life by renewing your mind? Romans 12:1 says. Gratitude is part of that. Scripture is part of that. Music is part of that. Exercise or movement is part of that. Meditating on truth is part of that. Retraining your brain by listening to your own voice. Declare, speak truth into yourself. I hate listening to myself, Kev. Get over it. Get over it. You want to retrain your brain. You want to start thinking thoughts that are life-giving instead of life-draining. Then this is how you do it. All right. 6. I'll give you 2 more. Now this is similar to 4, but it's affirmations. Okay, or visualization. Visualize, right? Seeing yourself respond in the ways that you want to respond to the people that matter most to you. So it could be your family, could be your spouse, could be your kids, could be your boss, right? Seeing it beforehand. I remember when I was a kid, I had a tennis pro coach, loved him. Miles Downey is his name. He was 26. I thought 26 was the best age ever. Couldn't wait till I got to 26. Then I got to 26. Pretty cool age, actually. But he would have me like see myself serve and put the ball where I wanted it to go. He would have me see myself hit a forehand or hit a backhand, or like he would have me play out that in my mind beforehand. What he didn't know is when I was tossing that ball, I was praying to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I wasn't really praying to Mary and Joseph. I was praying to Jesus. Like, God, please. And I'm telling you, the power of your imagination is massive in your day-to-day life. All right. Okay. And then really 7 is in case you didn't do that on 6, I want you to see yourself. So visualize yourself doing your best in what you have ahead of you today. Okay. So this morning's check-in. If you want the tool, the Daily Mind Renewal tool, again, I just want to say, just get into a rhythm and routine of practicing that morning ritual, right? Each hour throughout the day, there's other thoughts in here. And so I'm just going to give them to you just for clarity, but just write the word tool in the chat area and I will get this tool to you, okay? Each hour of the day, especially if anxiety is an issue for you, each hour of the day, breathe in and just say, Abba, as you exhale, I belong to you. Abba, I belong to you. When you meditate on the fact that you belong to somebody else, that you are the child of the King of the universe who put all this together, it can do amazing things. When you yawn, it helps you get more oxygen into your lungs. Your brain needs oxygen also. And so when you yawn, it does that. So yawn, like intentionally yawn. And just by me talking about it right now, I'm hoping I'm passing that on to you. I don't even want to say excuse me because I want you to yawn, right? I want you to yawn. Do it, man. Do it, P. Do it, all right? Yawn and stretch. Stretch. Our bodies get tense without us even knowing it. So stand up. Do your jumping jacks if you want for a second, the blood flowing, and just stretch. It's amazing. I decided a while ago I can either be sore from being stiff or I can be sore from having moved. I chose the latter and I tried to keep up with that. It doesn't always work. All right, focus on the top 3 most important values that you have. Look at your vision board. This is, as you're going through, if you're serious about transforming your mind, right, renewing your mind, a goop board is a story for another day, right? But I'll give you it real quick. G is your goal. O is the obstacle that could stand in your way from you achieving your goal. O is how you're going to overcome that obstacle, like what you are going to, and then P is what's the plan, right? And then number 6 is focus on your top goal for the next hour, right? Your top, every day, you can have your top 3, not 55 things, but top 3, and you'll be doing well if you get those 3 done in that day. Evening ritual. At the end of the day, hey, what are 3 things that did well today? I said to you last week, we don't celebrate enough. What are 3 things you did well today? Number 2, what are 3 things that you're most grateful for? Number 3, it's the daily results planner. That's a different thing. Number 4, have a look at your affirmations. And number 5, meditate on truth for a few minutes. And that's morning, hourly, to the degree that you're able to pull that off, evening ritual, and then we have some thoughts about overcoming worry, key questions, and dealing with negative thoughts as well. All right. So yes, the domino effect for sure. Cool. Good for you, Janine. We will be so we said we were going to lift you up, didn't we? Right? So everybody, Janine's got the same amount of since we spoke on Friday. Janine's got the same amount of house showings she did for the first 2 weeks. Her house was on the market just in a few days, right? So so let's keep lifting her up. Let's get this house sold, right, and give her a house story, a God story for her house, because she needs one, right? And there are times when all of us do. So just to write the word tool in the chat area, and I will send this daily mind renewal tool to you, all right, for freebie. And if there is anything else that we, myself, my team can do for you, if you are ready to come into the office, if you want to call us, if you want a video session, our Mother's Day giveaway is over. And but I think there's another giveaway coming up towards the end of the month, and so we'll keep you posted around that for some tools and coaching, etc. But I hope that helps you. Just some thoughts about how do you renew your mind? How do you transform your life by renewing your mind? Use the daily mind renewal tool, and we would be delighted to to be a support, be of help to you in any way that we can, right? We are a nonprofit, which basically means we run on a really tight budget, but we will definitely, KB, be lifting you and your family up for resources. You know, one of the things that we do say is that when we, how are you, Martha? When we're running low on resources, it's a challenge, and it's an opportunity for us to become resourceful, right? So how do I become more resourceful, right? Right now with this pandemic, you know, around the world, we have to what we call pivot, right? We've got to figure out different ways to make a living for some of us, right? Someone wrote in earlier this morning and said, my husband's lost their job, and so would you lift them up? Yes, we would absolutely lift up and pray for work for them. And we're praying for Janine's house to sell, and KB, we're going to pray for resources for you on whatever part of the planet you are at. If we can help you with your mental health, our leader will get that tool to you. Again, if you want the tool, just write the word tool in the chat area and we will get it sent to you for sure. If you've got a question that you would love for us to help you with, that we can, and I wouldn't take a counseling session or a coaching session to do it in, then we want to be available to you also. Two things before we wrap up. One is we are opening the doors to our Live, Love, Lead Academy, which basically you get this every week. This is not normal for us to be live every single day of the week, but we wanted to pour into you, and obviously that can't last forever. But we trust that you have gotten benefit from it, and it has helped you get through this really, really tough season. And I'm not suggesting that we're done with it, but the season that is. But we are going to start to taper down these daily check-ins with Kevin at 7. And so we're going to let you know when those doors open if you want to jump into the academy. That's one thing. The second thing is be looking out. We're also launching a certified life coach training program, right? A certified life coach training program. If you thought or wondered about becoming a life coach, then we're launching that program really soon, before the end of the month. And so wanted to just let you know about that. If you're interested in that, just write the word life coach in the chat area and we will get you some information about that as we release it to the public. So, hey, happy Monday. Go make it a great day. Don't mind the ding dongs, and make sure whatever you do, laugh a lot. All right. May you feel the favor of our Father on you this day. May you know his peace despite the circumstance. And may you be reminded that even though life is challenging and difficult, you have a Father, Creator, God in heaven, who is good, who is for you, not against you, and is looking for ways to move in the details of the story of your life, kind of like he's done for Janine. even in her house. He cares about her selling her house. So if you're interested in the tool, write tool. If you're interested in the life coach certification training program, write the word life coach in there, and we will go from there. God bless you. Take care. And we will see you tomorrow for your check-in with Kevin. I'll let you know when that's powering down. Take care, and we'll see you soon.